For this video, I will be talking, Amanda will be therapizing. um, but, so the topic that I want to talk about is something I've been struggling with for a couple weeks now. And for some reason after the holiday, it's just gotten progressively worse, I think.
Okay.
Um, but I've really been struggling at my internship with my supervisor just because our two styles are very, very different.
Yeah.
I struggle a lot with just kind of how aggressive she is and how blunt she is about stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not like
You're
I,
definitely not
yeah,
like that.
I don't want her to sugarcoat things, but like,
But, like, be nice.
yeah,
I mean,
like
there's a
she's
way.
just,
Yeah.
she doesn't seem like a nice person, and I struggle with that. And like the way she talks to some of our clients, it really bothers me, and she treats everyone like they're children.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like these are actually grown adults.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
allowed to mess up however they do.
Right.
Like that. There are points when like they take away clients like car keys and cell phones, and it's like these are grown adults. Like,
yeah. Right.
you can't ground them.
Yeah.
If they're gonna mess up and go and do drugs, like that's their mistake they have
Right.
to make.
You'd think she would understand
Yeah.
that.
And like,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
And I struggle a lot because she doesn't give me a lot of instructions a lot of the time, and she expects other people to. But then when I mess up, she comes in like guns a-blazing, just like really mad, and it's
Yeah.
like,
That
first
sucks.
of all, step back.
Right.
Because once you start talking to me like that, I just,
Shut down.
I lose all respect. Like,
Right.
I'm not gonna care what you say after that once you start using a tone with me. That's just,
Right.
it's how it is.
Yeah.
And like, I'll tell her about some of the things that my client is doing, because he's his own being, but she's so, like, just rude to him.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's very clear that she favors some of the clients more, but it's not like anyone deserves to be favored. Like,
Right. Yeah.
it's just she likes other people's personalities more.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I struggle with it a lot. Like, and we found out that Chucky and I, that's not
Yeah. Like, not
really?
really.
okay. And like,
Yeah. Sounds like, I don't know, I feel like she would be using me.
Yeah.
almost if I was, yeah. in
and
that
that's what
situation.
it does feel like.
Yeah.
And like, I get it, I'm an intern. That's what interns kind of do, but like,
right. But you're also supposed to be like learning
yeah.
and being able to approach your supervisor and
I
all
think
that.
that's the difference though between like a master's intern versus like an undergrad intern. I think like,
What's the difference?
well, like an undergrad intern's there to like kind of be used and to get coffee and
Yeah,
like,
yeah, okay,
stupid
yeah.
things like that, but like,
Yeah, that's true.
I'm learning stuff so that in 2 years I can be working in the field fully
Right.
immersed.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a tough situation because then it's like, what do you, like, do you
Yeah,
say something to her about it? Because
exactly.
she sounds like if she's that aggressive, I don't even know how I would.
And that's, luckily we have another, like, the other intern that Charles and I work with, she's older, she's in her like 50s or so. She's like doing this, she always says it's like her mid-career crisis, where she's going back to school and getting her master's. And we always go to her now for stuff. We don't
Okay.
even bother talking to
Yeah, you talk about her.
Yeah.
A lot, yeah.
Cause she's great, cause she listens to problems in full. She puts together, like, she thinks about things, and then
Right.
she gives us suggestions, but she doesn't force anything.
Mm-hmm.
And she also understands that the clients are like human beings.
Right.
So I really like having her now as, like, I call her my intern supervisor,
Mm-hmm.
because that's kind of what she does. And my supervisor gave like me and Chucky to this other woman as her responsibility,
Yeah.
and I feel kind of bad and like
Bad for.
bad
not
for
bad though, but.
I guess bad for being almost a burden on this other intern,
Mm-hmm.
but then feeling like it's not worth our supervisor's time to take care of us almost, in a way.
Yeah.
Like now the other intern, she's doing my process recording notes on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do my process recordings and she makes the supervisor notes. And it's like, I don't
Yeah.
want to add on more stress to her. She's just an intern also. She's also going to school.
Right.
But, I don't know.
Yeah. Sounds like you feel unsupported
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
yeah. and that's what it is, and like the other staff is pretty good. I like them and I like talking to them. I feel like I'm learning stuff. But I feel like my supervisor, because she's in her last semester of masters also, she's checked out.
Hmm.
But I don't think that's specifically fair to me. Like,
no, it's not fair to you at all.
and like,
And I mean, she like runs the place, isn't she?
Yeah.
Like the director.
She's the director of behavioral health.
Okay.
So
you can't just check out.
yeah.
You can't just. Yeah.
And like, I know part of me is like, okay, there's like 4 more months, and that's it. And then next year I'll go somewhere else.
Who wants to do that?
Yeah.
Like, say that. That's how you get yourself through the day, saying
Yeah,
like it's only 4 more months. That's awful.
Dread going there, which is like a
Sucks.
horrible thought. And like,
It is.
Chucky one week told me that she wasn't gonna be there, and legitimately this like weight was lifted off my shoulder. I was just like, yes.
Oh,
And like
that sucks.
that's such a horrible way to look at it, but it's just
It is. It shouldn't be that way.
yeah, it's just 2 different personalities working together.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like this isn't really a problem that I'm looking for like help with, but just
Right.
like venting.
Yeah. Well, part of help sometimes is just venting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit just sucks.
Yeah.
And like I've liked the program so far, and I really do like my placement. Like I see myself working at like a nonprofit with substance abuse and mental health
Mm-hmm.
users, but like
Well, at least you got that out of it.
Yeah.
Like confirmation that that's
yeah, and like
what you want to do.
it's really fun, and like working with my client, it's ridiculous. It's nonstop, just
Yeah.
hilarity, and like there's always so much drama built on like everyone else. So like that's always fun. It's never like a dull moment.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know. She like yelled at Chucky and the other intern last week because we didn't get filing done. But we also now have to sit in 2-hour staff meetings every week. And it's like, none of what you're saying affects us. We're just interns. We
Right.
don't do anything real.
Yeah.
And that could be time doing other things.
Right.
And they like don't
But
understand.
do you not do anything real? Because you work with that client all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think you're doing real stuff.
Only a little bit. And we do group. That's fun.
Yeah.
But again, those are situations where I'm not interacting with her. Where I get to do my own thing and be my own counselor and understand. And it's the same way as working with that guy that I hate at the agency. Like, it's just learning what I don't want to be as a social worker,
Okay.
as a clinician.
Oh, the older guy
Yeah.
who does the groups? I thought you meant the young guy who doesn't like you.
Oh
No,
no, him and I are bros now.
definitely.
Yeah, we
Because you're
spent
shit.
all of Monday last week together bonding. He's just a weird
Oh,
guy.
that's good.
Yeah.
Well,
So like even that's like okay.
yeah. I always feel like that's a win when you can like change the dynamic like
Yeah.
that to that extent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So, like, I don't know, like, are you gonna, like, do anything?
I don't think so. Maybe in the end of the year review, I'll like make some sort of comment because it's not that I don't think like they should have interns because it really is a great program and a
Mhm.
great place for people to learn. Like at this point, I'm the social worker I am right now because of what I'm learning there and what I'm learning in school. And like I wouldn't trade that. I'm so happy at the placement. But it's ultimately just learning that that's not the type of supervisor I would want to work with.
Right.
That she is way too aggressive. She yells way too much.
Right.
Like she legitimately yells at us.
That sucks.
And it's like, I'm not a child.
But, like, about what? I mean, I guess it doesn't
Anything. Like
really.
she gets frustrated because they didn't teach like us how to file.
Mhm.
And then like all of the files are supposedly wrong, but it wasn't like me and Chucky's fault. And then we're not doing enough filing. Like it's stupid things like that where it's like, then why doesn't everyone just file their own stuff?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
it's not that hard. Like if everyone takes the process recordings that they did, they can file them in their own clients' notebooks.
Mhm.
It shouldn't be left up to just us. Like
Yeah.
Like I make sure my clients' folders or files are all set, that they're in the correct order, that they have everything that they need, they're up to date with their treatment plan. But I wouldn't expect anyone else to care about that.
Yeah.
And I I struggle with it that like other people don't put in the same amount of energy with their own clients, and then we get in trouble for it.
Right.
So I don't know. Like
Yeah.
last Tuesday, Chucky was there all day. She didn't do anything, so we just did outreach all day, and then she got mad at us because we didn't file.
Right.
And it's like, but we're
It's not
going to.
clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get it. She has a boatload of stuff on her plate, but
Right.
if you sign up for this responsibility,
Right. It's your choice.
Yeah.
You chose it. Yeah.
so like you're literally having free workers. There's 3 of
Yeah.
us who work there for free.
Right.
You could at least respect us a little bit,
Yeah.
but
That sucks to feel like she doesn't respect
Yeah.
you guys.
I mean, I guess the good thing is all 3 of us feel the same way because we
Okay.
talk about it. And like I was talking to my intern supervisor, and she feels the exact same way. And it's like that's
So at least you don't. It's
Yeah.
not like a personal.
yeah, exactly.
But I don't know though. Is that better because then she's just treating everybody like that? I don't know.
I guess it's more of we're a united front then.
Yeah,
Being treated shitty opposed to just like
Yeah.
singled out.
Yeah. But would you guys like ever say anything to her?
I don't think I would personally.
Why?
I just feel like maybe this
I mean,
is.
I probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
But
It's just
I'm
like-
curious.
I feel like I'm not relevant enough. That me saying something, it's not gonna change the way she is. She's been the same way now for like 100 years. Like
Yeah.
by one small intern making a comment about her being too blunt and too aggressive isn't going to change her into this like passive, peaceful, calm person. Like,
Right.
and
Right.
I feel like because of how she is, like maybe in the future I could use her as a reference. But if I was to say something, I feel like she would be very passive aggressive about it. Then.
Maybe. Yeah. That's a tough situation.
Yeah. So I feel like if I just keep floating along, like complaining to like friends about it rather than like
Yeah. Her.
doing something, I
Yeah.
don't know. And maybe that's not how I should look at it, but
How it's just like floating.
yeah.
Floating
But just like
around.
4 more months,
Yeah.
and then we'll get there. We'll be done.
Yeah. I don't know. It's unfortunate though. It sounds like you don't think that you're like a big part of that agency right now.
I don't think I really am, and I don't mind that. Like I'd rather just be kind of a background character.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like those more relevant get in even more trouble with her. Like, I just float around and get in trouble for filing. Like, other people do, like, real things.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. I don't know. But would you be doing those real things if she was different?
maybe.
So she's almost like stopping you from doing more, I guess. Sounds like.
Yeah. To an extent, but I also think that's me stopping myself as well.
Yeah.
Like, if I did put in more effort and didn't just try to, like, float along, maybe it would be better. But I know, like, the effort I do put in with, like, the clients and with groups, like, it is a positive outcome for them.
Yeah. So you're just picking and choosing
Yeah,
where to put
exactly.
your energy. Alright, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know, I don't see you as the type of person who would, like, not say anything. Normally, though. Like, you know?
I'm pretty good at being vocal to people, I guess. And I think it's ultimately her persona of just being so powerful that ends up being how I take it then.
No,
Like,
she is intimidating.
yeah.
Though. Just,
She's scary.
just
She's
that
a
day when
scary
she
woman.
like gave us a presentation, I had the thought, I'm like, I would never want to be on that lady's
Yeah.
side.
And that's the
It's
thing, like,
impressive.
I tiptoe around everything because
Yeah.
I don't want to be on her bad
Yeah,
side.
I wouldn't either.
It's horrifying.
She's scary.
But I mean, she also, like, part of me also kind of aspires to be partly like that.
Yeah.
Like, I know my clients, some of them, they do walk all over me. They do know that I'm kind of naive and innocent. And they take that. One of them fake cries all the time on me. I'm like, come on, man. You're a grown adult.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
But, like, with her, they don't ever try to pull anything on her.
Yeah.
because they know better.
So like the authority, like authoritative, is that the right word?
Yeah.
Part aspect of it.
Yeah, like
She's
it's,
very confident. She's
Yeah.
like, I'm here.
she's fierce.
Yeah, she is.
And part of me does want to find an equal balance between like
Yeah.
calm and understanding, but also
Yeah.
like powerful and don't fuck with me. Like
Yeah, right.
I want that even balance.
Right.
I don't know.
Do you think that can be like part of why you like don't like her?
What do you-
It's like part of you like doesn't like her, but part of you
Yeah.
wants to be like her
Yeah.
too. That's like an uncomfortable like,
It's so
way
weird.
to look
Yeah.
at somebody.
But like I don't think I would want people to view me the way I view her to an
Yeah.
extent.
Yeah.
So-
There's a lot of different like
Yeah.
dynamics with just one, like just
Yeah.
her. Yeah.
So maybe it's like not only an external struggle with her personality and me, but also just like an internal struggle of what I want to be when I become an official like social worker and I'm out in the field.
Right.
Because I feel like, I mean, she's been doing this work now for 20 years or so.
Mhm.
So,
Well, like, what would you want to be like?
I don't know. Because I worry if I am too, like, passive and calm and do all of this and, you know,
Mhm.
to an extent, like, client-led stuff, that I am going to get walked all over. Like, I know for a fact one of my clients just is constantly lying to me.
Mhm.
But he's also constantly lying to himself.
Hmm.
Like, that's his coping mechanism.
Right.
So, like,
So like, how do you get past that?
I don't know. And she just yells at him.
Right.
And then he, like, decompensates and you watch it happen. Can't stop. So, but I don't think I would ever want to scare someone into being real with me. Like, that's,
Mhm.
I don't know, I would never want that.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's a weird situation.
Mhm.
But I mean, ultimately, it is a good learning situation.
Yeah,
So that's a good outcome.
I agree. It's very interesting.
Shit's rough.
Yeah, it is. But I'm curious to know, like, what do you think of yourself as a social worker now? Like with your clients, like you said, you feel like they walk all over you a little.
Yeah. Well, that's just, they know that I'm an intern and all of them have been going through all of this because they're all in their, for the most part, 50s to 60s that I deal with.
Ooh, that's
So they've been dealing with social workers and psychiatrists
Yeah.
since they were like 17, 18 years old. Like they know how to work the system.
Yeah.
And like they see me coming in like fresh and ready to learn and they're like, we can use this, and I know that's what's happening to an extent. But I think they're also like, what was it, 3 weeks ago? I took off my sweater at one point and one of my clients saw all of my tattoos.
Right.
And he was just like, oh, if I saw you, I wouldn't want to mess with you.
Oh,
And I was just like,
that's right.
yeah, you're not going to mess with me.
Good.
So I think
Got
they,
some street cred.
yeah, I think they're starting to realize that I'm not just like this little like sweater wearing girl, like
Yeah.
fresh from Southbury, like trying to save the world. Like
Straight out of Southbury.
I think they're now starting to be like, oh, okay, like
Yeah.
she's genuinely like trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
So that's good. But again, some of them like they lie to everyone not because they want to get away with stuff, but because that's genuinely what their brains are telling them are happening.
Mhm.
So it's hard to figure out
Mhm.
the difference between being walked over and just handling someone who has a severe like mental health problems.
Right.
So that's
Yeah.
also kind of fun and tricky to learn. But
Mhm.
that, like one of my clients who's regularly lying to me, at this point I just let him do it. I don't try and call him out on it because if he wants to tell me he has an iPhone 7, he can do that if that's what he honest to God believes, which is what he
Right.
told me today. Like, it does not affect me if he does or doesn't.
Right.
He brings out his like little galaxy. I'm like, okay, that's
Right.
that is what
yeah,
it is.
Why? Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you that's not what it is. Why would I
Yeah.
do that? But whereas like my supervisor would very much be like, that's not what that is.
Right.
This is what an iPhone is, and like,
Mhm.
I-
She would go there.
yeah, and like
And
why?
it does sound though like that's how you would talk to a child. Like you
Yeah,
said. Yeah.
and like she just yells at people, which I don't get. How do you
Yeah.
yell at someone?
Right.
Like, especially when you're, like, a behavioral health director.
Mhm.
You're just yelling at somebody who has a mental illness.
Right.
What is...
Yeah, that's weird because like when she came when she was talking to us, I would never expect that she would
Yeah.
like not have patients like that with the
Oh
with
my
that
gosh.
population.
Yeah, and that some of our guys, they've been caught recently, like, doing heavier drugs, and they've been caught, like, shooting up heroin because one of them OD'd this past weekend.
Oh my goodness.
He's okay. He lived. But like, they responded by just yelling at all the guys, and it's like,
Yeah.
how is that going to encourage an addict
Right.
not to do drugs?
Right. It's like against everything that.
Like,
we
you're
learn.
yelling at a 65-year-old man. Like, if he wants to shoot up dope, he's gonna shoot up dope. Like,
Right.
and you just kind of have to help him on his level,
Right.
not
Meet
come
him
in
where he's at.
superior. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Like, we get it. You used to do drugs and now you don't.
Yeah.
That's great, but not everyone can do that.
Yeah.
You replace...
She does make that very
Yeah.
well known though. Like,
Yeah.
As soon as you meet her.
Yeah.
Almost it's kind of bizarre.
She's so fierce.
She is.
She
I don't know.
replaced one habit with another. So she went from being, like, an aggressive drug doer to now this intense workaholic.
Mm.
And she just swapped her
Like,
habits.
Yeah, the personality. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so I understand where it's coming from, and that's just who she is.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's hard.
You know, I think it's interesting how, if I can make an observation. So like one of the first times we talked, you said how like you feel like you like go above and beyond for people, and like they don't really like do it back to you.
Yeah.
So like almost, it sounds like an almost similar situation with like your clients too.
Yeah.
Like just feel like taken advantage of or being
Yeah.
walked all over, kind of similar.
And they do that. I know it. Like, one of my guys, the same one with the iPhone, during one of our first sessions, he realized if he started to cry, that I would help him get through stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, about 2 weeks after that, he had his cell phone taken away. Ridiculous punishment for a 55-year-old man, but
Mm-hmm.
he had his cell phone taken away. So during our session, he was telling me all about it, and he started to fake cry again.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, listen, I can't help you with this. Your parole officer and the directors here took it away.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing I can do, but we can talk about it and talk through how you're feeling. He immediately sat up, stopped crying, and he was like, oh, well, I'm just upset.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I think some of them realize, that I am willing to go above and beyond to help them out with stuff and to do things, like, on my own to help them.
Mm-hmm.
And they do, kind of take advantage of that, but I think they also are starting to learn that I'm not going to do that as much anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I feel like you're learning that
Yeah.
too.
Exactly.
To not do it, yeah.
Well, there's a lot of the employees at my internship that they very much enable the clients into not being able to do things on their own. Like, the medical case managers are frequently doing everything for the clients.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, but that means that once they're free from here, and once they're out on their own, they're not going to know how to do it themselves.
Yeah, right.
And they're going to crash.
Yeah, it's disempowering.
So that's why the internship supervisor, or the intern supervisor, she's been helping me learn the difference between, doing everything for a client so that they succeed at the time,
Mm-hmm.
compared to letting them do it on their own, watching them fail, but then helping them kind of get things going.
Right.
Because,
Like reflect and
Yeah.
learn. Yeah.
because,
That's hard though.
yeah.
It's hard. 'Cause you're there to help them, you don't want to watch them fail.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of what being a social worker becomes. Like, as much as you want to help, you don't want to do everything for them.
Right.
And that's the same, like, with change work.
Yeah,
You have to let them do it on their own.
Yeah.
As supportive and encouraging as we can be, we can't force anyone to change, and we can't
Right.
force anyone to do anything.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be a little bit trickier, kind of learning to take a back seat and just
Mm-hmm.
being there to
Yeah.
to cheerlead for them.
Yeah. I think you have like the tendency, well, you and like a lot of us in this program have like that tendency, you know, to like want to be there and do things for
Yeah.
everyone and help everyone and
Yeah.
yeah.
What time is it?
I don't know.
So
How
like
long is that?
30 minutes again.
Is it? I can't see.
Is it 26 minutes?
26.
Damn it.
Alright.
Okay.
Well, we'll stop there. How was that for you? Was it
It
good?
was good.